share, bring your dream to the table. Mama Vega's here, helping women feel able. Business, purpose, wellness, and life. We rise together and do what's right. Welcome to Mama Vega's kitchen table, where women gather to grow, build, and rise. One story, one dream, one business at a time. Mama Vega's kitchen table, where women rise and shine.
I like that.
Okay, so now we're on episode 6, Boundaries, Business, and the Women Who Finally Said Enough. In this episode, we're going to talk about women must protect their time, energy, and peace if they want to grow. Business, family, and community can pull on a woman from every side. Learn how boundaries help women stay focused, make better decisions, and stop losing themselves while helping everyone else. So that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And we just finished the last episode, and in the last episode, we were just getting ready to get into boundaries.
Yes.
And we know Visha always starts out raw, so maybe we need to start with her again because we know she's going to be calling it in.
Yeah, with my boundaries, I've learned to say no and say no often. And at first, when I first said no, I felt really guilty because that was not my place.
Right.
My position in my family dynamics. That was not my position in my world. I was that type of person. When I eat, you eat. But then I started noticing that there were people that would come around me to eat when they owned the bakery. You know what I mean? They always had a pocket full of money, but they would spend up all of mine because they knew that if you were with Visha, you're going to get, you
Right.
know. And I had to realize that I was diminishing my value by being more available to people who were not really for me.
Mm-hmm.
And these were people that I loved dearly. They were so close to me that they knew what, and matter of fact, they would tell me stuff like, you teach people how to treat you. Not knowing that I'm teaching you how to treat me too. And I didn't realize that you're treating me just like the people out in the streets are treating me. But you would say things to keep my light dim at all times. Or the bar will be moved up higher. You know, every time you get to a milestone, they say, oh, well, you're not consistent enough, or you're not this, you're not that. When really what it was I was being too available and not setting not only my boundaries, but my pricings, my time, I was not valuing my time, my presence, me in general. Matter of fact, I was betraying myself every time that I said yes when I didn't want to do something.
It's not only your boundaries, but it's your expectation. Because
Yes.
You can set up boundaries, and I can say, I don't want to talk, but you also, at the same time, you can give the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So when you set a boundary, you can also set the expectation of how you're going to treat me,
Yes.
how you're going to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of boundaries as well. You know, even the way people talk on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're talking on the phone, you know, this is one of my pet peeves. When I'm talking on the phone and you're talking to the other person,
Mm-hmm.
and then somebody in the room is busy yelling to them to do something, and they still keep the microphone where you can hear what's going on. They should be putting you on mute.
Yeah.
You know, and I let people know that. I've started to let people know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I don't need to hear that. Put your phone on mute so I don't have to hear that out of respect. You know, it's disrespectful to me for me to be hearing that in my ear with you yelling and screaming, and all you have to do to the other person, because whatever it is, if they're not bleeding and dying,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, it's not an emergency.
Yes.
So you can tell them, hey, I'm on the phone, and then you tell the person on the phone, can you hold a moment? Let me put you on hold.
Mm-hmm.
You see that when you talk to other businesses, right? When you call a business and they need to go check something out or do something, what do they say? Do you mind if I put you on hold for a moment?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're used to it in other situations, but we accept it when we're just talking to people in general.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we don't put our boundaries and expectations on people on something as simple as a phone.
Yeah.
And we don't realize that's the same thing as letting somebody in your house, but we don't look at it. You don't just let anybody in your house and just let them come on in. They don't have to ask you, Can I come to your house? Can I
Mm-hmm.
open your front door? That's another door into your house.
Yeah.
Because when you're on the phone, they're in your house, they're in your head.
Mm-hmm.
What do they say? I'm not going to allow you to rent space in my head for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you're hearing certain things that's going on, you're busy processing that. Why do I need to process your problem?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have my own situations, because they're not problems for me, they're situations.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking about setting boundaries, we also mean setting expectations. And if somebody doesn't meet my expectations,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's not your expectation. I'm telling you what my expectation is. If you don't like my expectation and my boundary, bye.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I'm okay with that. And if you're not okay with it, I'm okay with you not being okay.
Mm-hmm. And see, I got to get to the point to where I don't go through the head versus heart fight after I tell them no. That's what I'm trying to get rid of now. Is I don't know what that feeling is.
Well, setting a boundary,
No.
I found is the very foundational tool to use, because you're gonna have that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you set your boundary, you setting your value
Mm-hmm.
of what you gonna take and what you're not gonna take.
And see what I'm saying. What my problem is once I set because I haven't never had boundaries.
Got it.
So because I'm not used to setting boundaries, now I set boundaries for my kids. Certain people can't come around my kids, but for me, I was just open. I thought I was being transparent. I thought I was being real. But I was setting myself up to be shot in the foot. But my problem now is, well, it's not a problem. It's a situation. My situation now is I need to stop going with that brain, because I'm programmed to feel guilty for saying no. I'm not supposed to say no. So once I set a boundary, I have to go through and tell myself, I have to talk myself into staying and standing on that boundary, because I'm used to,
Right,
let me give another
teeter-tottering.
chance. Let me, they're okay. Maybe if I just leave for a couple of months and then come back and then everything will be okay. But no, they were who they were last year and the year before and the year before, and nothing is going to change, But like I said, my problem is the head, the talk the self-talk. I need to change the self-talk once I set a boundary and know that boundary is solid and this is my decision and stand on my decision.
And that's exactly right. And we so often will change what we're doing. And like you said, we put that guard down and we go, okay, I'll let it go. But we don't realize what we just did is we reinforced a negative behavior.
Yes.
We're allowing them to. We're teaching them. What are we doing? We're teaching them how to treat us. Exactly. Yes. By us saying, oh, okay. And then when they come back, we wonder why did they do that again? Because it's repetition. Mm-hmm. You taught them how to treat you. Mm-hmm. So now you have to unteach them, so to speak. And that's where what we're learning how to do is just to set those boundaries and to use your words and to stand on it.
Yes.
And you don't have to be mean about it. It's not anything. It's like, what did we say the last time? No is a complete sentence.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Remember,
that is my phrase. That is my phrase. Absolutely not.
Because doesn't sometimes when you say no, sometimes people want to have an explanation immediately for your no instead of just accepting my no.
Look, they don't have to accept your no. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
But you don't owe an explanation
I
either.
don't, and I don't ever feel like I have to. It's just that I had somebody actually tell me, "Don't you think you owe me an explanation to why you said no?" And I'm like, "No," and I was very succinct. And their reaction was kind of like that, as if I had the audacity to say no. And I'm like, okay, well then this interaction is over, right? Bye bye, and I left.
And what I've done when people have done that sometimes is when they say, well, don't you think you owe me an explanation? My response is, why?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm putting you on the defensive for you to tell me, why do I owe you an explanation? Rather than me just saying, well, no, I don't feel that no, it's not a matter of me feeling anything. Mm-hmm. Why do you feel that I owe you an explanation? See, but my thing is I'm going to put you on the defensive for you to tell me, why do I owe you an explanation? Mm-hmm. Now you have to come back and explain yourself to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
that's
just
happened
said,
to
I
me.
just said no.
See, I didn't realize that. Like me saying why is like me really asking somebody too much to, because then I'd have to sit there and listen for your explanation. But now that you said why, okay, I get that now because I don't have time to play games. If the answer is no, and then somebody's trying to like, why are you? I don't have time to play. Sometimes my time is very precious, and I don't have time to even explain that. But now when you say that, you're putting the onus back on them to have to answer. Because for real, usually I don't care, but now that you said that, I'm going to be curious. Okay, why? Why do I have to explain? And I do want to see what that person's going to say to me because I don't understand.
And it's probably not going to give you the explanation that you want. Another
Yeah.
thing, another can also be, is like if a person says, if they start asking too many questions, one of the things that you can do is you can say, you know, can I ask you a question? But before I answer that, before I answer your question, can I ask you a question? And usually a person is going to say yes, right? They're going to say yes. So then what I will say is, I will say, okay, well, before I answer your question, would you mind answering my question? And usually they're going to say, yeah, okay, I'll answer your question. I'll say, how is me answering your question going to benefit me? And how is it going to benefit you? And if it's not going to benefit both of us, then I don't see why I need to answer your question, because we should both be benefiting from me answering your question. And you'll see that puts them at odds where they stop asking you why.
Yeah.
Because they know they're going to then have to answer as to why do I need to answer your question. I'll take that. So, what do you need to add? You're quiet. Renee, what about you?
I just think it's important to set boundaries, period, because one, people don't know you until you meet them, right? I have to set the value of our relationship, even if it's transactional, you know, and I've dealt with that a lot. I was a truck driver. So, like dealing with people on the fly or dealing with them long term, you have to build the value. So that's why building a boundary just for yourself on how you're dealing with people. I can't expect anybody to stand by my boundary, but I can. I can set my boundaries. I don't have any problems with that. The things I do find troubling is when I do set my boundaries, I get tested a lot in them.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that so much, but it's more like when people I actually care for and they want to test that boundary so much to see how far I would bend, when it's like I would bend for you in many, many ways. Just in when I set a boundary, don't expect me to bend in that. I do contracts, so understand that I have to deal in contractual ways.
Yeah.
Doing that in my job helps me to find something in my life sometimes when I can't. Okay, what would I put in a contract if I didn't want somebody to treat me this way? And then I say, I would put these wordings, right? Then I say, okay, so how would I transfer that into my life? If I didn't want somebody to treat me this way, what would I say? But not sound like a contract, sound like a human. And I just learned how to take one thing and try to, turn it into my life. Because I'm clinical. I'm very clinical. Words matter in my line of work. So if somebody's telling me, I may see you tomorrow, okay, that means may or may not. But I will definitely see you tomorrow. I'm going to count on that. So if I count on that, I want to talk to people like that so that when they count on me, you can count on me in that way. Because once people are like that with me, I can't understand if they set a value for themselves on how they talk, but I know I have. So when I hear stuff and then people say, oh, well, that's not what I said you have to understand I'm neurodivergent. My brain is wired to literally hear how you talk to me because I need to understand how we're communicating. So when I'm how would I say it? When I'm rehashing a conversation, I'm very succinct. I'll tell you exactly what you said, and I'll tell you what exactly I said. And then what is wrong with that? Because then people will be upset.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry if you're upset, but I can't care about that right now. I'm just trying to set this boundary on how I'm talking with you because I don't know how else to be. I'll say it like that. I don't know how else to be.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's important, because if you're doing it and you're starting a job, you're selling anything, trinkets, or you're doing, it's very important to set your value, your principle. What is the thing you will do, and what is the thing you won't do? You see what I'm saying? My dad taught me that at a very young age, to the point where I guess I'm bougie with it now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's been my mechanism of care, because I didn't have anything else. But that's why I think as women, it's harder for us to set those boundaries, because, like you said earlier, we're so open to helping everybody, and that we love them. I'll do anything for you. I'll do anything for you. But it stops us from setting those boundaries like that. But that's when it's important. So that's when it's the most important. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, because you just have to live that way.
Yeah.
I get it. But
yeah, I know with not having boundaries, the people that are closest to you, your relatives, when you don't have boundaries, they don't respect you. They do not respect you. They know that you're going to do this. They know that, and they feel entitled to whatever you have, which is your time, your presence, your energy, your food, whatever it is. They feel like they are entitled because this is what you've been doing.
yes.
You've been doing this since we were kids. So what's changed now? I've outgrown you guys. I've finally woken up. I finally found me, where you guys, the family unit was my identity.
Right.
I didn't have my own identity. My identity was the cook, and you can drop your kids off on her.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was my identity, and I thought that was a good place to be. But then, when the stuff hit the fan, and there's no one around, and you're not able to get the things that you used to get, you can't move the way you. Sometimes God will sit you down physically, so that you can see that these people are not who you think they are.
Okay, that family becomes something totally else when you actually need that family to be for you. You know you family. You know you fam on your own. But when it comes to I need fam to be for me, it becomes nothing.
No, they're there for show. They're there for show. Facebook family.
They want to act like the Huxtables on in the face.
No, they want to act like they really are for you in the pictures, and give you little pieces of bones here and there so you can make your money. But at the same time, they don't want you to get too far up.
Right.
Because once you realize your power, once I realize that I am powerful, they can't touch me anymore.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I become a threat. And that's when you start getting those, you're crazy, something's wrong with her. She need prayer. I didn't heard that. I don't like her spirit. You're not a blessing. You're lazy. You know,
everything you just said, I've heard that.
And this is coming from those people that I love dearly.
Yep.
Even though they know what your potential is. They really do. They know your potential before you do. They know your potential before you do. That's why they want to keep you down, because that means that you're going to keep giving to them.
And it
nobody
keeps
else.
You malleable in their power.
Yes.
You don't get to claim your power.
No. But we're doing that right now.
That's what, amen. Yep.
We're doing that right now.
When you set that boundary, that's your claim to that fame.
Mm-hmm. My new thing is, they're gonna be all right. I have to walk away and say, they're gonna be all right.
Facts.
This ain't their last meal. They're gonna be all right.
They're gonna be fine.
They're gonna be fine. I have to tell myself they're gonna be fine, because if I don't tell myself they're gonna be fine, I'm going to react the way I used to react.
Because you always are their solution. Yes. If you don't become that solution for those that don't value you as a solution, they just that's their jerk reaction. I'm sorry, I'm not that. I'm not everyone's solution.
Yeah.
I have my own issues that I have to deal with. So my solutions are they're vital. I have to use them to help myself. That's what you can tell yourself.
Yeah. I have one cup. and 1 cup only. And I'm gonna need to fill that for myself.
There you go.
And then live off the overflow.
Amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think the boundaries, we talked about family, but how do you think the boundaries can now apply to, you know, how do you think that that's going to be in your business?
Well, in my business, in my business, boundaries in my business, what I need to do is I have to, one, set my price, believe in myself, and know that I am an expert at whatever it is that I'm doing. Can't nobody else do what I'm doing the way I do it, you know, and be secure in that, to where I would always price appropriately to my value.
Right.
Because that's my problem in my business is I underprice. I don't price what I'm really worth. You know, even though I know that I have a product that nobody else can duplicate out here, I still underprice because I didn't have the belief. I allowed outside to validate my product. And I think that's a boundary also, right?
Yes.
That's a boundary also.
You let people cross that boundary.
Yes.
And you know what you're worth,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't implement it. You don't act on it.
Yeah.
You listen to other people. That's why a lot of times when you're doing something and you're in the formation of whatever it is that you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
it's good not to have a lot of people giving you their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not in the trenches doing what they're doing. You don't know why you did they don't know that. They don't know why you're making your decision. They don't know how much you paid for something. They don't know all the intricacies that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
As far as how you came up with your price.
Yeah.
And just because you have one thing and somebody else has something very similar to it, they're not the same.
No, they're not.
And so therefore, you don't have to worry about what somebody else priced theirs at, because people will pay based on what they deem to be valuable to them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are pricing your things below what you value, how are you going to now expect people to pay you more when you're not valuing it yourself?
True. I remember when I worked at Toys R Us years ago, there was this man that owned a hobby shop. It was a hobby shop. And he would come to Toys R Us and buy up all of the Matchbox cars because they were 99 cents and he would buy like cases of them. So I asked him one day, I'm like, why do you buy so many Hot Wheels at 99 cents? He said, well, at my shop, they're $6.99. I'm like, what? He said, they're $6.99 at my shop. So why not go to Toys R Us and order them and then come pick them up? And I said, why are they so much? He said, because there's some people in this world that think they're too good to come to Toys R Us.
Exactly.
Yes. Exactly. Venue is very important. Location, all that means
and
something.
Because it says hobby shop, they're coming in,
they're buying
expecting to spend hobby shop money.
Yep. That's why a bottle of water that you can get for 99 cents out of the store will cost $3 at a festival.
Yeah.
Or $6 at a concert.
Yeah.
Because the value of it at the place that it's at. And that's how you got to remember in business. It's always about where you're at, that your thing has that value.
And sometimes the wording.
Yep.
The wording.
Yep. I had a lady buy up white towels, just white little hand towels from the 99 cent store. She got them on clearance. They were 50 cents each. So she got a steal for them. She ended up making $3,000 that weekend off of all the towels. Want to know why? Because she had LA Dodger ribbons. And all she did was tie those little white towel with LA Dodger ribbons. She was selling $5 each.
See?
I said, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And so that's where, like, when we had our conversation about the baskets, right, and things like that, it put my mind in perspective of, wow, you have to evaluate what you are selling, your services, whatever, and you really have to give it that value of everything, what it takes to make it, plus your work. Because that's invaluable too.
Yeah.
That's valuable too. Don't just think because you threw something together. You didn't just throw something together. people want, and that's how you just got to see it.
Yeah.
You do everything to pay the attention and things like that. And setting your boundary is making sure you evaluate that at the price and you don't move from it.
Yeah.
That's what it costs.
My price
you
is
don't
my
want
price.
It, that's fine.
My price is my price.
Yep.
And like you said, it's the value.
Yeah.
What is the value that they're placing on whatever it is? Are they placing that value on your service?
Mm-hmm.
You know, one person can price something. There are two people who are doing something. One person prices it at $10. Another person can price it at 50 cents more, $1 more,
Mm-hmm.
and they will pay the more money, which
Yes.
is your example of the cars, right?
Yeah.
And that's because of how they're valuing. They're like, oh, this, I'm expecting it to be that.
Yeah, I'm going to a specialty shop.
And it's also how you carry yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How is it dressed up? How are you presenting it? All of that comes into play as to what are they going to want to pay for it.
Yes.
You know, that's why when people say, oh, you know, I'm going to price it at this because they can't afford it. You don't know whether they can afford it or not because you don't know what value they're placing on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They may not be placing that value on something.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it, and you're pricing it because this is the value that I put on it. And if you don't want to pay this, that's okay.
Somebody will.
And that's what we have to look at. We have to look at, are we valuing it ourselves?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you lowball your prices, it's just like a used car on the corner. If the car is only $1,000, your first thing is, what's wrong with it?
Yep. That's what
What's wrong with
your prices does.
Yeah. What's wrong with it? Why is it so low? You know, and yeah, that was my biggest underpricing.
You can get ready to say something.
Let me spin off of that. So I've also found, because I also too sell products, if you are good at what you do and you throw a price out there and they say okay and you think it's high and they pay it without questions asked, maybe you're not valuing yourself, or knowing that you're not paying yourself. I was like, oh, okay. Without even blinking, and they pay it and give you a tip. So you got to know that out there, how they value, like you said, the services that you provide. Because a lot of times I was out there hustling and giving out my products and not even charging for my services. So that's one thing for a boundary. Or what I'm good at, what I got in trouble with Mama Vega. Being everywhere is being nowhere. Because I would go everywhere to a lot of events, and then people would be like, oh, of course, come on over, because they wanted me to give them something free in exchange for exposure. And she's like, everybody knows who you are already. You don't need exposure. Yeah. So at what point do you set that boundary so you can stop giving away things for free?
Yes.
You already know. What is my other saying? I might be available,
but I'm never free.
But
I'm never free.
Mm-hmm. Never free. I can't wait to use that one. I've been waiting on somebody to ask me, are you available? Are you free? But nobody want to ask me. Nobody want to ask me right now. I can't wait. And then watch, I'm like, what she say?
You're going to forget the saying. Just write it down on a little thing.
I've been waiting to use it. But I have been using absolutely not. I know somebody asked me, did you feel like company this weekend? Absolutely not.
Yep.
And then I had to walk away because it was my and I had to go through the.
Because you know that is my other saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And because I had to tell her no, it kind of. But then at the same time, I was like, yes. I wasn't scared.
But you were like, I did it.
I did it.
Oh, yeah.
Like we talked about the boundaries, somebody taught me saying no to somebody else is saying yes to yourself.
Yes.
And I had to let that one resonate, because I was always scared to say no. And I always said no to me. So no to them is yes to yourself.
Yes.
That's perfectly put.
Mm-hmm. Never betray. I always tell my kids, never betray your main, your star player, which is you.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we make our mistakes, and I guess mistakes is not the right word. It's learning something different. We have to reprogram ourselves. It's kind of like a computer. We have to defragment and take all that stuff out. You know, just like exactly. We got to clean
Too many viruses is up there.
Right.
That's why when you're trying to gain something, a knowledge or learning how to do something, you do have to take something out of yourself. It's just like a emptying and then receiving, a giving and a take. And since I've been with my husband, we kind of follow this thing where we're not going to be more or less than who we are for each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because we both came from trauma. We both wasn't trying to like find anybody else. We have to be honest with us. So we set boundaries. If I'm not happy, I'm gonna let you know. If you're not happy, you let me know. And that way we can just part on equal terms. And then you can go find your happiness. I can go find my happiness.
Yeah.
And 60 years later, we still on that time. Because that's awesome. The boundary that we set. We didn't have no expectations. We didn't even know if we were gonna stay together 1 year.
Yeah.
We didn't know. But I know I wanted to marry that man. I wanted to join myself with him. That's why my whole life I said I'm not getting married. I told myself that. Then this guy come around, and then here I am making not compromises, boundaries.
That's awesome.
Boundaries. And that's why I know it's very important to set boundaries.
It's awesome, but it sounds scary to me at the same time.
It is scary, though. It is.
That sounds scary to me.
It is, though. Guess what? You did half of the work already on yourself.
Yeah, that's what Mama Vega was telling me. Because I just
draw from that because that's strength that you built up yourself. Nobody can tell you nothing. You put the work in. You got something to draw from inside of yourself. Can't nobody tell you anything. Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? You still got it in you. It's just that now you built it up with 2 years. Okay, that's 2 years, and more to come from it. Not just the activity, the fact that you disciplined yourself and said, "I'm not going to," for X, Y, Z, whatever reason it was. Yeah. That was a boundary you set for yourself. So you're already in the making of doing that.
Yeah. Oftentimes, when we set that boundary, is when we said, "I've had enough."
Yes,
I'm done.
Yes.
You know, and it's because you've been beat down so much. But we shouldn't have to get to that point. Right? Yeah. We should teach other people in the beginning when they're little,
Yes.
how to set those boundaries and how you put yourself first.
Yes.
But we don't always do that because even in the churches and everything, they're always telling us, "Be good, consider the other, turn the other cheek," and all these things. Well, I don't know. We got
my cheek don't want to turn today.
I have never turned a cheek without it getting slapped.
Okay.
As soon as I look away, that's when I'm gonna get hit. So it's kind of hard to.
Well, it's kind of hard to turn these two cheeks, but I can turn the other cheeks and walk away.
Yes, I can. Yes.
I don't know why I thought of Eddie Murphy right there.
I'm gonna have to use that one. I'm turning these cheeks.
We can't have both of you at the table.
Too much. Because sometimes that's what you have to do. You know, go, okay, I turn the other cheek and I'm gone.
Yeah. And that's empowerment in its own.
Yeah, it is.
Because the first time you turn around, the first time you do walk away, it's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not. It's definitely not easy, but it's something that we have to teach other people as well. Is how do we walk away and graciously walk away?
Yeah.
And not feel guilty. That's the part we don't.
And not walk away bitter.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to walk away with peace, but walking away is one of the hardest things, but yet, like, one of the most powerful things.
It is.
And people, you weak, or you stupid, you dumb. Nah. It took more strength in me to walk away from that situation than for me to lash back and go to jail.
Yeah.
And I always tell people that's the most powerful person. If you're in a situation where there's two people and you're trying to argue or debating something, the person who walks away is the stronger person because it takes a lot to walk away.
It really does. It really does. I've done it. And I it wasn't easy for me. I was so mad. I was mad at myself for walking away, but I had to tell myself that I did the right thing. Not reacting, not getting out of character. This is what they want to see. me crash out so they can still, go with the crazy narrative, or she needs help, or they've been whatever. I had to change that, because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't even have my grandkids right now.
Yes, that part. And we talked about
Yes.
how you said you saved your grandchildren, but I pointed out the fact that your grandchildren saved you.
They did.
So they saved you from continuing down that road, because you now recognize if you didn't take them and do something for them, there was nobody who was going to do it. So you saved each other.
Yeah, they did. They saved me.
And that's also now where you had to then start putting up those boundaries.
Yes.
And people don't realize that you will protect those children and not let people treat them a certain way, but you will let people treat you a certain way. And what you did is you then are teaching the children how you are allowing people to treat you, and they will start treating you the same way.
My daughter did. Before she passed, she was treating me exactly the same way people out in the street were. But she told me. She told me, because she was very vocal, just like I was, like I am. And she told me when she was 14, 15, something like that, she had told me, Mama, you're a punk. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm a punk? She said, all these people that you feed, all of them, your cousins, your aunties, all of them, they talk bad about you. They'll take their plate and walk. As soon as you walk outside, they talk about you like a dog. But you keep feeding them. You let people use your car. You let people take you this. You take people there. They don't never come and pick you up. As soon as you want to ride, they talk bad about you. So after so many years, she started doing me the same way, dropping off kids and
exactly,
because
we're teaching them. Remember, we're teaching someone how to treat us, and that's what we have to remember that we're doing.
Right? Yeah.
When we're doing these things, we're still teaching them how to treat us.
Yes, and then I won't allow them to be. Now, I've learned that I will not allow other people to speak into the kid's life.
Exactly.
Because when they are on both sides and seeing both sides, they're getting their narrative of you, and then they seeing what's going on, and they're believing their narrative because you are doing this.
Exactly.
There is a fact. You are giving away our food. You are doing this. You are doing that.
Right.
So they start thinking like them. So now, if I see, and I don't judge nobody for their kids, but if I see you arguing with your kids and y'all roasting each other and all that, my kids can't play with you. Cousins, whoever. If you allow your kids to talk smart to you and talk back to you, my kids can't play with your kids.
Exactly.
Period. I don't care who you are, because I'm going to stop that. I allowed that to happen with my oldest girl, and the streets took her.
Right.
However, the streets took her.
Yeah.
The streets took her.
Yeah.
Because I was allowing other people to have their say on what I do with her. And instead of standing up and saying, oh no, she ain't going over there, I was like, girl, go on over there to you, whoever's house. Go on over there with your cousins. Go on over there, not knowing that you're getting a whole different picture of who your mom is. Even though, but one thing you do know is your mama gonna take care of business.
Right.
That's why the children are with me and not with anybody else. She knew who to drop her kids off on. But I also needed to learn that lesson so that it will not pass on to the other three girls.
So you want to break that generational curse?
Yes, ma'am.
Is what you're saying.
Yes,
you want to
ma'am.
break that. And what we're going to do is we're going to end here for today.
Okay.
And where we're ending today is you already hit on it. So you will have your homework for next week, because next episode is going to be your time is not free. You have to learn to protect your day. So that's the next episode. And so we're going to end with what you guys love to do is dance. You're going to dance your way out the door.
Yes.
You're going to dance your way out the door.
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
Around the table, we plant the seed. Women rise with what they need. Business, courage, wisdom, and grace. Mama Vega holds the space. Thank you for joining Mama Vega's kitchen table, where women gather to grow, build, and rise. Remember, your dream matters, your voice has power, and your legacy starts with one brave step. Mama Vega's kitchen table, where women rise and shine.